Guys, finally, another sport that has been slowly brewing in the background is, of course, Super Rugby, or rugby. Been some good pre-season action and results. And then, of course, we also got the Six Nations kicking off this weekend. But yeah, the Stormers and the Bulls, big North-South derby from the first weekend, and they're both looking in good nick, Rob.
Yes, they are. I saw both friendlies. I went to Newlands for the Stormers Cheetahs game. The only sour note really for the Stormers was that the old injury bogey just will not leave them. Here we go, starting a new season, more injuries. I mean, players just go down like skittles. Both of their starting locks, Eben Etzebeth and Manuel Carriza, both succumbed to first half injuries. Apparently it sounds as though Etzebeth is a bit sort of touch and go for the Bulls game. That's almost a good result, because the last thing you want to hear is Etzebeth out for 6 months or something, which has happened to them on a couple of occasions before. He's a very vital element of their tight five. But injury concerns aside, I thought they put in a pretty decent show. Difficult to judge too much because both teams went in with slightly weakened lineups, and the Cheetahs left most of their sort of superstar players, if you like, the few they have left on their bench. So Loet de Jager, Kuni Oosthuizen, Willie Leroux only came on for the second half. So, they were a bit vulnerable in the first half. But having said that, the Stormers cashed in. I thought they showed good sort of physicality and a very good scrummage. Which, contrastingly, when the Bulls played their game against Saracens on Saturday, was a big issue for the Bulls. They really struggled in the scrums. Werner Kruger.
Of course, very different conditions, though, Rob.
Yes, absolutely, and they were on an artificial surface. Northern Hemisphere, biting cold. So they'd come straight out of the sort of South African summer heat where they've been doing all their training to suddenly go and play in really icy, bitterly cold and blustery conditions in North London. Couldn't have been easy. But apart from their scrumming woes, everything else went really well for the Bulls. I was very impressed with their showing. I won't say they blew Sarries away, but at different times in the game they looked as if they were going to. And in the end they won by 13 points, which I think they would have banked at the start, when you consider that Saracens, even though they were also a little bit weakened, they're in the midst of their season. So all of their squad should be reasonably match sharp. And there were still a few internationals and some really hardcore players in that Saracens team. So the Bulls, lots to commend them. I thought that they ran some nice angles. It looked as though they are keen to depart from that old conservative sort of kick and hope philosophy that even their own fans were starting to get a little bit irked about last year. And I think the Bulls may just be sort of top 6 contenders this year. Although again, you don't want to base too much on a pre-season friendly, many thousands of miles from home.
I'm sure that they don't take it too friendly, though, and it's interesting to see how the different teams are preparing. I mean, the Lions playing against university sides, like one half against a different team. But our friends down under, I mean, there's been some good results there. I mean, the Force, the Rebels.
Absolutely, very, very interesting to see the way the countries prepare. Like you say, we've got the Bulls off to the UK, we've got the Sharks playing in France, but then the Lions playing Pucker, and then there's another Lions team that played as well this weekend, like sort of their Vodacom Cup type side, sort of just to give everyone a run. But then over in New Zealand and Australia, you've got the Brumbies against the Reds and the Blues against the Chiefs and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see how the two teams do it. Again, without giving away too many pre-season predictions, I've got a sneaky feeling that this is going to be a far better year for the Bulls. They've picked up a few players, signed a few players, lost a few players, but I think every team has done so. But there's something about this Bulls team. I think they're going to be better this year than they were last year. A lot of people obviously talking about the Sharks. They've made a number of signings, but until they actually, pick up the victories, it's all just sort of hearsay on paper. The Stormers I'm a little bit worried about. I sort of expected them to beat the Cheetahs, who I think were going to be hopeless this year, like they were last year. I think they will comfortably finish bottom of the South African Conference. I thought the Stormers will win by far more at Newlands. They've always been really, really tough to beat at Newlands, forgetting who plays. Both teams obviously weaken and stuff. So I expected the Stormers to really, really run away with things, which they didn't quite do. So I think that's going to be mid-table for the Stormers and slightly better for the Sharks and the Bulls this season.